Morningstar here, and this is the HPS watch list for the week of December 1st. December 1st is tomorrow, is Sunday evening. I'm getting this out kind of late. Might go out in two parts because the market's selling off pretty good tonight, and I want to see how the market's setting up. So we're going to do this first part is kind of review of the setups that are active, currently that are active, and then I'll be doing some research again with everyone tomorrow live and seeing if we're going to add anything to the watch list. I'd like to see how the market opens up tomorrow. Right now we're trading near the lows of the session. We just had a little bounce, but it's basically been pretty decent volume to the downside all night long. There was something overhanging this market, a bad turkey hangover. And now by mentioning that, it is happy Thanksgiving for those out there who celebrated. Happy Black Friday. If you're not, if you haven't taken advantage of the Black Friday sale here, I don't do too many sales, and there's a good one on. It's supposed to end tomorrow. I didn't really promote it too much. I might put it out a couple days, push it out a couple days. Definitely worth the taking a look at that. Let me see if I can bring that up for you right now. If I could bring it up on my screen here. I did make an image of the. I've been doing a lot of work today. Let's see here. So yeah, it's the Black Friday sale. There it is right there. Lifetime membership includes everything and everything going forward. Normally it's $1699.95. Sale price $999.95. $700 off. All right. Take advantage of that. You won't see it lower than this price. Also, if you want to do the monthly, normally it's $99. If you use DTR69 code, DTR69, it'll take $30 off the monthly $99 membership. So let's jump on this. BlackRock. These are stocks from last week, and again we'll watch that market here too. Let me just switch over here fast to the. Well, actually, can't. I'm covering this thing here. But this market has been trading down pretty aggressively. I'm long right now. I'm going to probably keep the long on until tomorrow. But I tell you, every bounce has been sold into, so it might lead to something. Tomorrow we have Black. Well, actually, I should show you the ES here so you know what I'm talking about. So take a look at this. I did send out an alert here. This is the Voxer alert. It was a quad rotation. It was kind of the first quad rotation of the day, and we did get a little bounce. At that point, you can see that every 9-3 rotation, we sold off. That's really important to, when this gets down here and stays underneath this and this rotates up and this really doesn't get anywhere. We don't like to be, too, typically you get a nice move. When you get that 9-3 pulling up, you usually get you get that 60-10 pulling up with it. But if it doesn't really start to move, you've got to question the move, especially if it's holding underneath the moving averages and it's underneath the 200-period moving average overall. So you can see we had a nice rotation, a nice flag. This was a little divergence here. I don't know if I called that or not. It was a slight divergence there. And again, you had a nice little move, and then the rotation got us above, and then it came right back down. And you could have done this each time. If you felt like there was a little divergence or a reason to go long, maybe a quad channel line, which is very important to have at least two things lined up. But every little thing, and I had I was kind of having, a hard time holding on to my gains tonight. Every time it would move up, I said, all right, we're going to move higher, and it rolls right back over, and that's something you have to do. Sometimes you just got to pull the trigger when that 9-3, and you can't be playing that game. You can't be hoping and, just saying, oh, thinking in this game. But, when you have the combinations of telling you it's when to get in, you will get those moves. Like right here, we just took a little long here. Right here, I took a little long based off of that divergence, that higher low. But you can see we got over that 9-3 and once again coming right back down. So I haven't taken the profits off here because I think that we could get a bigger move. But that's just thinking. That's the worst word you could use in trading. So, with that being said, that is important to always take your profits. I can't stress it enough. And even I'm the one sometimes that doesn't listen to my own own words of advice. But all right, enough of that. Let's take a look at. Let's move this back over here because I have that. We're going to be looking at stocks right now. Let me get this over here. And we'll see if that ends up being a little higher later on. So BlackRock was one. This is the watch list from last week. And again, I circled the stocks when we look at them. Basically, these all fit the criteria for what we call a super signal, where we have a 9-3 divergence and we have a 60-10 oversold level. And it pops up on my scan. So this popped up on scan. We circled it. And you can see the next 5 days, it was off to the races. It was an absolutely perfect textbook 1, 2, 3 channel. We came down to 4. And this is all, this is for the swing traders out there. Swing traders out there, you want to be able to wait for the 9-3s to give you the divergences, and you're going to get these bigger moves. And not every day is going to be giving you these best setups. Sometimes they come every couple months or a few months before you get that perfect setup. Now, I don't know if this is going to turn back down or what. It's not my job is to tell you when it's going to bounce and how, and to take profits when you have them. Now, this hasn't fully rotated, so I do expect this to move a little bit higher. But with the markets down today, and it seems like there's some serious selling, I'm sure this will be affected tomorrow. So, BlackRock here, a nice setup there, nice setup. SWK, again, as you can see, we circled the stocks. Even back here, I could say I circled it, but it did fail there, and this actually turned over. This one, really a good setup. It was a quad rotation inside of a channel line. Just everything worked out well in that. Again, even if these might not be set up now, they show you, this sometimes could be valuable in the way that you start to see what you need to be getting into. Fastenal, FAST. Now, Racer, I want to give Racer credit for this one. Bringing it to the room, and it ended up on one of my scans also, and it's moving up a little. It's not out of the gate, crazy. And again, these will all be, slowly moving up. We got a fast rotation up here, fast stochastic starting to rotate back up, came out of the downward channel. We'll see where it goes. I don't have a position in that. Do not have a position. NXPI. Oh yeah, look at that. That was ideal. Perfect. Again, we just go back 5 candles. Now this broke down through the through the lower channel line, and that's okay. We expected to come in and then retest and then off to the races. So this is doing exactly what I mentioned on the video. If we go back to last week's video, you'll probably mention me saying, watch for this to come back into the channel, then pull back to the channel line, and that will be another buy signal, and then you're going to be off to the races on this. NXPI. Zebra, ZBRA. I wrote it down because it triggered, the divergence trigger. It showed up as a quad divergence. And it was what we call a super signal. That 60-10 on the daily was over underneath 20 line there. So that's also very important for us. And again, look at it. Look at the move. Perfect. This is this is like 6 for 6 so far. CF, another one. All these have the similar, very, very similar setups. And these are swing trades for stocks. And this is something that that we do, in between trading, futures trading and everything else. But when these things set up, these are good longs. CF Industries, another one. Hit the trigger. MSI, Motorola Solutions. You can see a lower trend line, kind of a setup. It's slowly sideways, no position. The one thing is I'm not in any of these that we went over. Just wasn't comfortable with the market conditions going into, so I just didn't take any of these. But as we look back, all of them could have been taken. All of them, all the. Let's take a fast look here also on the SPY. Now the SPY. Look at the SPY. Look at how strong that was. Almost got back up to all-time highs. Almost back up to all-time high. Now this is what we call the rising tide. The rising tide lifts all ships. So I'm not saying taking total credit for this setup, but what I will take is total credit for the markets being ready for a bounce. We were set up perfectly. First time oversold since April. And you can see what happened the last time we were at April. what happened there. It was just a big. That was the bottom, and we got oversold here, and it was very close to the highs. So that just tells you a lot right there. I don't think we got more than 6% off the highs. 6% off the highs there. No 10% corrections or anything. Now, again, we'll see what happens this week. Post-holiday hangover, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Markets showing some weakness now. We took out previous lows, but that really doesn't count because it's Friday half day. So there's a lot of junk here that we could break down and kind of recapture and then push back up. I wouldn't put too much into today, just because there was light volume lift, and we're just kind of restarting. Let's call it a restart. We're gonna take back what we had on Friday, and restart it and refresh it. So I would think that's probably a very good chance that we pull back, close that gap, and then kind of
order submitted,
take that
order filled,
and then move back up here. It's just what happens. PayPal. I'm curious. Yep, sure enough, it moved with the PayPal. So all these here moved around pretty good. Now I did get into a couple new positions. We did take some profits this week, the past week. Really nice. What do we do here? I think I have a recap. All right, so what do we have here? I said that a couple times. I'm looking back at my trades. So we took the CMG off, Chipotle Mexican Grill. And again, this was another one that was on the. This is actually one that I did take off the watch list here, right down here, and had a nice little run. And again, we had that gap area, so I wanted to take it off into the gap 34.18. That's exactly what I did. Maybe it goes higher, maybe it doesn't. We'll see. But we had a nice trade on that. Just had 60 shares, sold it for $180 profit. Now, I got into this new stock. I'm not that excited about it. A lot of people in the room were looking at it. I said, you know what? I'm going to get in it because people are, they're starting to trade. I said, I'll be part of it. And that was actually, that's daily. That's, wow, that's actually had a nice, I got in at 1347. So it's a nice little pop. It's at 1530. And then again, light volume. Popped. I would take profits on this faster than fast if we get this at a good price on tomorrow Monday morning. Hopefully, it doesn't gap down and give back all those gains. It very possibly could, because I believe me, this feels like it went up on magic, on magic. So we sold a CMG. I sold the Linda LYB, and again I had a little seller's remorse before. Believe me, I did. I think we kind of nailed that one. Now I waited on that one for a couple of weeks before we started getting its move, but basically this was a huge divergence, double bottom divergence, and had 100 shares. Got 2.5 points on that. 2.5 points. Sold it at 46.68. It's at 49. So I sold it at 46.68. I bought it like at whatever. I got 2 points. So I bought it in 44 area. The low was around 42. Now it's 49. Like I said, I think I had a little seller's remorse there. Oh well. Probably the hardest part of trading right there is dealing with the. Not about getting in, because I have it down to a science of how to get in and where to find these stocks. It's about getting the most out of it, taking the trade and getting the most out of it. All right, let's. I also added to a penny stock I have some penny stocks. Not that this is usually a thing on this, but I'm just going to talk about what we did this past week. So I picked up a little bit more of this turbo solar. Now, believe me, this thing is crazy. It was up here at $20. It came all crashing all the way back down to $1.34. This thing looks just dead. But it's one of those stocks that you get a flat line and then you get a pop on it, and out of nowhere it doubles and triples. So I took a shot on it. I picked up 200 shares at 146. Right around this level. I had some others. So I had 200 shares before that. So I have a total of 400 shares now, and my cost average is 264. So as I started getting in on this, in this consolidation area, right when it fell off, right down here, I think I got in. Well, anyway, a little, the cost average now is 264. It'll probably a little bit higher, and that the cost average came in, wherever that was. But again, that's I'm in at 264. It's 134. It's a small stock. I'm not looking for a lot. I like sometimes getting into these stocks. Ooh, look at that market just kind of get a little hiccup there. It continues to sell off aggressively.
Order filled.
Today. Really is. Pretty hard, aggressive sell-off here. Oh, and I just lost my chart here. Just another cheapie here. And again, we're going to be focused on some of these this morning, or every morning. We get in here early enough. The cheap low float what I call them the low float poppers and stuff, tend to get big moves. Now, Fat Pipe's another one, and I ended up having this trade in this consolidation. And I like to get them when they're in the consolidation. We got a pop, and I took some profits on that, but I did keep some on. And the ones I kept on, I wish I actually got out originally, because it came all the way back down. And so I'm thinking of actually adding and picking up a couple of hundred shares of this week. I like that we're down here. We're oversold. It's kind of gotten real. I don't like that the 9.3 is rotated up here pretty aggressively, so we'll watch what happens here. But this one is starting to look a little bit more interesting for a pop back up towards $5. And we do have that consolidation that broke down. And I'll do a little research on this, and they do seem to have some positive momentum starting to build. And again, these are stocks that are going to be higher risk, and I put out there just understanding that these are usually gambles and not to do with anything other than money you can only afford to lose. But I wanted to just point that one out. Fat Pipe. Now I did do some research on it. It looks interesting. Internet company that basically ticker FAST, the SD-WAN tech for bonding multiple internet lines into one big fat pipe for reliable connections for big for businesses needing uptime. So, all right, so let's go to the next one here. Just an update on my Teladoc, which I do like a lot down here. It hasn't really gotten out of its own way yet. Been banging around down here. We've made a couple runs. I haven't been in it for any runs to 15, but we've been up to 10. It's pulled back, and it does look pretty good still. I'm not I like it here. I like it. I think it gets back to $9-10. I think it goes higher. I think there needs to be some news on here, but if it does have some news, some big deal, or something, maybe even some AI news or something, just to get this thing going. I'm sure this thing has a big pop in it down the road. So continue to hold on to this. I like it down here, anywhere in that $7 to $8 level. Looks good. Well, I can tell you right now, just doing a couple scans on this, I don't have many divergent scans here. Lockheed Martin, between these two candles, I could see something happen. This one and this one, a little divergence. Nice pullback on that one, Lockheed Martin, but nothing jumping out at me here. LIN, decent pullback. Can't really see the divergence. Nothing good. And then Checkpoint Software, CHKP, an oldie. Remember Checkpoint from the 90s. Market here still really getting beat down here. Pretty good selling now. But I have a suspicion that we're going to actually get these gains that we're losing here. We just had to reset. Friday was kind of kind of a levitating day that I don't think that the market really wanted to count. So it's actually going to take all that back and it's going to start fresh. And that's what we're doing tonight. Nice little pullback here on checkpoint. Checkpoint actually is a little falling wedge pattern. I mean, there's nothing here. I'd feel much better something down here, Definitely something down there, a better divergence. I'm not really seeing the divergence here too much. Just ran a little scan right now on my what's called the potential divergence scan, and which gives us not a perfect divergence, but most of the criteria is being met, but not all the criteria. Kind of gives me a setup that's close, and this is not even really giving me any type of any signals. I mean, this is on the 500 stocks. I'm just getting one, so this is not that good for the market. I love to see the market. I have my own little indicator when I have the divergence indicator, and it gives us more than 20 to 30 divergences on the S&P 500. It's a big buy signal for me. Like I said, we don't have basically anything going on right here. So I think early in the week we'll concentrate on momentum stocks. See if we get some trades in, some good day trades based off of some lower price momentum stocks early in the morning. See what's running. We'll let these other stocks kind of set up. There's no trade before it's time. We want to take. We want to get those divergences. I'd look at I'm actually looking at this OMC back here, and I'm looking at this bottom here and how far it went, and that nice rotation above the 20 line and below the 20 line and the double bottom, and how well some of these look. There's nothing really here. And again, when something works so good, you have to kind of wait for it, and you can't really rush it. So some weeks you're going to have those weeks where there's just nothing. There's nothing really setting up. So let me get this video out so you get prepared for tomorrow. Again, we'll be here tomorrow morning, and taking some pre-market trades. Should have a nice week ahead of us. So I'll catch everyone then. Expect a follow-up video this week, though, to kind of put some new stuff on as the stuff sets up. I don't want to just give you anything that's not really set up, but I'll do some more research tomorrow. We'll do some segments on the air, and we'll go through a lot of stocks. I'll write them down, and I'll get the alerts out to you. All right, have a great night, everyone, and see you in the morning.